back, everyone. Two guys, one gamepad. This is episode 21, and of course, I am Cybermark Sig. Let's just go with Sig from here on out. And this is Roggle. Not really much to say about him. It's just Roggle, unless you're reading closed captions and it accidentally does say Rachel. I apologize. We just didn't get around to it. But
No, you make it that. There's no closed captioning to it at all.
I will make a video to prove that it says Rachel because I laugh every time. Like, I should leave this in.
Yeah, now that you've shortened your name like Prince, just one word.
One word. Just one word. We fancy over here. Bougie as shit.
I guess so, with the Air Force t-shirt on and all.
Yeah. You know it's bougie when I'm rocking my Air Force t-shirt. My chair, my shirt, pants, it all matches. Right? Why not?
It's funny because kids went trick-or-treating last night. Our neighbor was in the Air Force, and he was only handing out lanyards, Air Force lanyards to the boys, and all the girls got candy. The boys walked away like, fuck am I going to do with this lanyard?
You're a recruiter.
Yeah, no, he's not a recruiter, but he just had a bunch of them. I hear one kid walk off. It's like, cool, thanks. I'm going to hang myself with this if she didn't give me candy. I'm like, damn. Yep, he'll be joining the Army soon.
Oh, the Marines, damn.
Yeah. One of the two.
Holy shit, that's dark for a kid.
He's a teenager, so some dark humor there.
Yeah. Well,
Or maybe
speaking of darkness, it's really like it really is a dark matter, just because what's going on right now in Iran, and we're not going to touch base into it, but it does tie into today's subject, which is WWE's Crown Jewel 2022 event, which is happening November 5th. We're basically just going to talk about that and predictions, expectations, what we want, what we think will happen. But to start this all off, I think it was 4 hours ago, the U.S. got intel that there may or may not be an attack going on in Iran, and that this event is a big possible target between Saudi Arabia and Iran, that Iran may attack the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's not pay-per-view event, but wrestling event. There we go. Fucking English. So, but all the news really says is that Saudi Arabia has shared intelligence with the U.S. warning of imminent attack from Iran on targets in the kingdom. They do believe that this will be it. But if all the reports are also true, then WWE wrestlers should already be on their way to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a long fucking flight. And I'm sure they're not going to just fly right over there. They'll swoop military style. I'm sure they will stop along the way, get to properly rest in a nicer hotel than what the Air Force has.
Yeah, I do think with all the stuff that they have going on, they're already way over. With the intel that they got, I don't see the point of pushing it, because if something does happen in that area, and something happens with WWE or whatever, it's not going to look good on the company for ignoring the information. Now, granted, attacks like this can be said 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
You never know.
Happens a lot.
But with that being said, why not just divert? How important is Saudi to the company? Is it that big of a deal?
It was a multi-billion-dollar agreement between the Saudi Arabia and Vince. And I know, like, if they were because this is issue number 2, or this is the second time an issue has arose at Crown Jewel or about Crown Jewel. As what, last year or 2 years ago, it was the airplanes. They couldn't take off. They were delayed. So Monday night was ran by a bunch of like NXT and I don't want to say like 4th or 5th string superstars, but very much like these are nobodies that you haven't seen ever. So, but when that happened, they were talking about possibly cutting ties with Saudi Arabia, and it came out that no, they can't really afford to do that, because if they do, it would be so detrimental to their overall profit, because they did sign a multi-billion-dollar agreement for X amount of years. So it's going to be interesting. I hope again, this is all we're saying is pure speculation. We have no real technical proof to say yes, this is facts or yes, this is false. This is purely based upon what the White House National Security Council has released to the public. But they got intelligence information from Saudi Arabia about this. But I think here's the problem. So I hope and pray that uh, Stephanie McMahon and Khan step in and say, you know what, we're not doing it. We're in Germany right now, or wherever they're at, or decide to just say fuck it, fly back to at least Germany. That would be the main hub they would go through before Saudi Arabia, unless they're going from the West Coast out. I can't tell you.
Which I mean, there's a few other spots. I mean, they could hit Ireland as well. That's another hub they can hit.
Yeah,
and a few other ones, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
They need to turn around, but unfortunately, what I think will happen is how pretentiously stuck up and how far those sticks are up the prince's ass in Saudi Arabia. I think they're basically going to say either you come over and agree or keep our agreement, or we cut ties and lawsuit or whatever happens, forcing WWE to basically risk, if not sacrifice, their wrestlers.
Yeah, so I mean, with that, they do have a backup plan. No, this is a speculation. Backup plan is that it's all moved to Survivor Series or a separate date, which will also cause a problem because Lesnar's in training for a UFC run again.
Yep.
And so if that happens, Survivor Series is not going to happen for him because he's already supposedly in talks to have a fight around that time. If he has a fight coming up around that time, he can't be involved in Survivor Series.
Nope.
So this whole thing with Lashley, which is an appease to the prince or the people in Saudi Arabia just to have these two big ass athletes go at it, Lesnar and Lashley, to tear the house down
again. But yeah, it's also a culmination of several years. I think 2 decades they said of each of them somehow just barely passing each other in WWE and never really working with each other. So there is this legitimate storyline there, and they tried it when Lashley had the U.S. title, I believe it was, and it didn't go after, like, it was one match done type thing.
Yeah.
So this could be part 2 of that. Hard to say. But there's high speculation that they're basically grooming. I don't understand the logic behind this. That they're going to groom Lashley to basically take Lesnar's spot as the Beast. So when Lesnar steps away or steps out, Bobby Lashley becomes, the brick shit house and the dominant force that he is. However, Lashley is in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So he does not have many years left, and it's kind of late to groom him to be 2-3 years left on his agreement or term wrestling, and be like, hey, by the way, for the next 2 or 3 years, you're just going to be the beast that puts other people over. But that's where a lot of the speculation comes in that I'm reading and even seeing other videos about is, this is only happening because of the princes, but also because they want Bobby Lashley to finally take over the spot that Lesnar's in. But again, we're about 10 years too late for that. That should have happened when Lesnar stepped away for the UFC. Either first or second time. Not, they're both in their late stage of wrestling.
Yeah.
Lesnar doesn't have much longer to wrestle. I mean, he could honestly probably be the one guy that wrestles till he's 70 and still looks freaking insane.
Could be, and I don't know how much to really take into how serious this UFC run is going to be, if at all. It's probably going to be a one and done match or a 2 series of some kind, but it's hard to tell because I mean he's not in the shape that he used to be, and he is older. Yeah. I'm not saying the guys can't come back and whoop some ass in the octagon and whatnot, but
no, they can't.
He's not.
And
Yes.
oh, what's Iceman's real name? Ortiz's rival.
No.
Yeah, he came back and that was
Yes, but
that was not
that's kind
pretty.
of what they have to do. I mean, Randy Couture tried to come back, didn't work. I mean, there's other guys. I don't know if you saw the dog shit boxing match over the weekend. Just speaking of UFC, of the Anderson Silva Jake Paul.
No, but
But
I heard that Silva was uh, showboating, kind of playing around in round two, not really connecting his full punch, letting it slide, and kind of like not. Somebody said dancing, and they were
well,
showing clips. I was like,
that is typical Silva fashion. Though he does it. He did it in all of
yeah,
his UFC fights
well,
as
yeah,
well.
but
But other than
UFC
those, yeah,
mixed martial arts, boxing, just your fist.
yeah. Outside of that shit, Logan was there as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, he was upset
and
about the press conference at the end.
yeah, he was. He is a bit vocal, but not as crazy as he used to be.
It's not as vocal as Jake.
So, well, no, Jake's an idiot. Jake is.
That's
I
an
mean, Jake
insult to
called out
all
a couple other
idiots.
people. He called out Nate Diaz and Carmelo, which it is what it is. But that's boxing, and at this point, I'm starting to wonder if that's faker than wrestling. But who knows? But Logan Paul, he is keeping his kayfabe style with him, but also being true to how he normally is, reeled in
Yeah,
a tad because the way that he, I mean, he's not as over the top. Maybe it's just because he's a little bit older. But I don't see him the same as he used to be, just because he's in the more of the public eye with his brother too, and now with WWE.
well, and Prime.
Yes,
Yeah. But I
but
mean,
he's also wild as shit on his podcast.
yeah, I don't know. I and Logan Paul has a match that Saturday as well against Roman Reigns, so it all works together. But to go back to like Jake Paul versus Silva, that was we talked about via text message even that if ever since this bet was made, I think we made mention of it on the podcast too. Even since that bet was made up, if Silva wins, it'll be a kickboxing match. But if Jake Paul wins, it'll be a fighters association is created, and we both agreed. Said, yeah, okay, well, this is a fucking sham of a match. Silva's gonna lose, but how he loses, I think we both said he's not gonna get knocked out. That's not an option. It's gonna have to come down to a card, which is what it was, and what it was like. I think I read it was either 77 to 74 or 76 to 74. It was like a 2-3 point
Yeah,
difference. So
it was one sided.
it was very much a huh, gotcha. Oh, you knew
Yeah,
that. Oh, mm-hmm.
Jake did knock him down once, but it was kind of a weird knockdown because Silva got up right away. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I'm I hope he stays away. I don't want Jake Paul anywhere near wrestling.
So, but that ties into Saudi Arabia because there's two speculations going around. Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns, and that's the bloodline's going to get involved. Well, they're not going to let Logan Paul's kind of go in there um, unprotected, so to speak. So who's going to back him up? And the most popular one is Jake Paul, and he is
Yeah,
slated to make an appearance there, whether backstage, actual presence in the ring, or if he's just there supporting his brother in the crowd. But there's more evidence to say that's going to happen somehow or another. Jake Paul's going to get involved, and I fucking hope to God or whatever entity, deity, whatever. Don't let this fucking happen. Keep Jake Paul the fuck out of the company. Like, we were already hesitant about Logan, but Logan's proved his worth in 2 matches. Jake Paul just does not know how to shut his goddamn mouth. He's literally like a $2 whore looking for attention. Just anybody, everybody will do. You don't even have to
yeah,
be in the same realm. Take anybody. Look at his boxing career. Oh, you're an MMA fighter. Let's go box.
yeah.
But the other one
So
is KSI shows up. And KSI partners up with Logan Paul, which between the two, I will take KSI over Jake Paul. But either way, no. If anything, get Logan his own true WWE faction.
Yeah,
Don't bring these hood rats.
KSI KSI can talk. He's definitely a talker with how he is, and he's more than one type of person when it comes to personality wise.
Yeah.
He can go multiple different directions because he's obviously been a YouTuber for a long time as well. He's been around for a very long time.
Yep.
There are quite a few people that he's ran with. He also has a past of boxing Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he
So-
lost. I think Logan lost to him, didn't he?
yeah, I think so. But I don't know how far into it we'll go with KSI showing up. But also I don't know if it's worth it to have anybody come out to save Logan Paul. Let him just be a notch in the belt of Roman Reigns and them to just kind of squash it because um why? What's the point of Logan Paul getting over in any way by bringing somebody out to go against the bloodline? Because that storyline, I don't think goes anywhere.
I mean, not without bringing out somebody else, and that's the thing. Is like, why bring somebody else into this unless it's going to be a faction? And they already like, if they were going to do that, let's back up. If they were going to do that, they should have kept him with the Miz and been part of that faction rather than breaking it off. So that's burned. Because that was like, that would make perfect sense because Reigns just Superman punch and knocked out the Miz on Monday Night Raw. Why is everybody talking about Logan knocking me out when you should be talking about me? Like, it would make more sense, but now those ties are completely severed. So inside the WWE, there's really no one I can see them partnering with Logan, unless it's to build a faction. And again, there's no storyline there. This is more really just a one-dimensional side story of, hey, Prince so-and-so and Saudi wants these two to face.
That's the only reason I think it's really happening.
So it makes no fucking difference. They're like, that's another one of those matches, very much like Lesnar. It's just, it's there to be there. It's not there to actually contribute to any storyline overall, unless somehow they can fucking spin it. I guess Kevin Owens would be the only one they could somehow, but they've already stated that, or not WWE, but lots of leaks have stated that Sami Zayn's storyline has come to a pause because he was supposed to break off and be with Kevin Owens eventually, but because of all the hype and traction they're getting right now with this whole Jay's not feeling very oozy and like that whole thing.
They have to get him out of the bloodline because he is killing any type of dominance that faction has. When he says that shit, he just said it. What was it on Friday?
Yep.
And Roman couldn't keep his shit together.
No.
They made that whole bit, that whole skit, everything, that whole shoot, everything. He killed it because they couldn't keep a straight face. So any type of like seriousness that they were trying to bring to it, because they had it as soon as they said, he called out, everything happened and Roman popped his head up. It's like, all right, cool, let's see what happens. And then Sammy says he's not being too oozy, and Roman lost it. Like he couldn't keep his shit straight. And even Jay had to keep his head down.
Yeah, I mean, he was caught smirking a lot.
They didn't even show. Like I forget the other one, not
Solo?
but the other Solo. They didn't even show him. Period.
No.
So I guarantee he lost it because he can't. He's the worst one. He cannot keep a straight face.
Somebody uploaded a video. I think it was on TikTok, but it was either TikTok or Instagram where they were filming that interaction, and Solo literally had to like turn around and fucking just sit back in the turnbuckle. So, and he's been very public too. Like when they interview him, he's like, Sami Zayn is trying to make us break. Sami Zayn is trying to make us laugh, and it's so damn hard. He's the master of it. Like Solo recognizes it, has called him out on like public interviews because I know it's gonna happen. When it does, I'm done. So I think this was just the time that it got all of them.
Well, he did another one too. I don't know if it was a behind the scenes one. They talked about going to the Waffle House.
Yeah.
He sat up. They sat up like, what the fuck? So I don't know if it was like a backstage type thing or if it was an actual
It's a
promo they were cutting or what.
no, it was a part of SmackDown Lowdown, I think is what it's called. It's just
Oh,
like
okay.
a little sideshow, but
Let's
not
sit
aired.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still tied to kayfabe and all that, but um,
He has to go
I,
before he.
I don't think they're going. I don't think they will.
No, they probably won't.
I think they will milk it, and I think this will go on for a while. I don't think Sami Zayn's going anywhere this year. I
No,
know.
I don't think he's. No, I
I
don't think he goes anywhere.
I think him and the Bloodline are strong until at least Royal Rumble, if not WrestleMania. Like that's
I could
pushing it, but
see
he could do Royal Rumble easily.
because I think him and Jay are gonna have a match at some point.
No, see, they could do it literally at the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, they're all in it. It leaves Jay and Sami Zayn to be the last one, the last two, and we're jumping way into like the future here at this point. But had those to be the last two, they fight out just bloodbath style, and whoever wins gets to face Roman Reigns, and now there's this huge division. If it's Sami Zayn, he's instantly out of the bloodline, and KO can come in to rescue him. Or if it's Jay, then Jay now gets another solo run, and he can actually like beat Reigns and put Jimmy in the path again and say, hey, like you basically have to choose sides, and also would put Solo in a predicament and would put Sammy in the predicament. So I think Royal Rumble will be the soonest we see any legitimate conflict between Zayn and anyone outside of Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. War Games, I think, is gonna be a big show and what's gonna happen
Everything.
with a lot of the factions. So I mean, we've only touched on two of the matches that are this weekend too, with Lashley, Lesnar, Paul and Reigns. Then there's the
There's OC versus Judgment
OC
Day.
versus Judgment Day, which
Have you seen
I
the
just want.
speculation on this one?
No, I no, I don't want to see Judgment Day do anything. I hope that they squash Dominic Mysterio into the ground and just leave him in Saudi.
No. Here's the problem. I have a lot of free time.
Talked
I
about
have a
this
lot of free
before
time.
a few times.
Like Call of Duty, I have an episode every time I mention this. But basically, they're pushing. The rumor is that they're pushing the entirety of Judgment Day. That's why we saw Rhea Ripley, uh, uh, not suplex, but whatever, lift up the big dude, yeah, not Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows. There we go, and slam Luke Gallows. God damn it, into the mat. So we saw the strength of Rhea Ripley. We're seeing the deception from uh, Priest. We're seeing Finn Balor being like a little bit more manipulative and being really sneaky. And then you have Dominic, who's literally trying to do shades of his legitimate father, shades of Eddie Guerrero. And we're seeing that. And the rumor right now is because if you look, Dominic has won his last three matches, I think it is. And so they're pushing him. And it's getting to the point where the OC has to bring somebody in, has to bring a female in. And there's two people that think it's going to be Beth Phoenix. And by they, I mean the general consensus of the wrestling community. Think it could be Beth Phoenix, but it wouldn't make 100% logical sense since she is tied both physically and literally to Edge. To have her join the OC would be stupid. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Unless Edge joins, and he's not going to do that. Then there's my, favoriteest person on the planet. That Charlotte Flair comes back. And Charlotte Flair is part of the OC. And it would make a lot of sense because I guess AJ Styles and Flair has had a stable in the past. It must not have been a good one because I honestly don't remember it without having to like see people link the matches. Like, oh, that was like forever ago, like when he first started with WWE or within the first few years.
Mhm.
But right now it's Damien is suspected to win. Not Damien, sorry. Dominic is expected to win. That he's going to get the win on somebody, and likely to be AJ Styles again.
So I did see something with somebody joining. I believe it was Leah Kim. Is that who it is?
I haven't heard anything about her.
To think, yeah, to not come back with, but to join the OC. There was speculation because she had a run with them at some point.
But she wouldn't make a lot
I
of
can
sense.
now. It doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be a dominant force to go head up with Rhea, because
But Charlotte, unfortunately, Charlotte Flair makes the most sense because Charlotte and Rhea have a very long, outstanding history.
they do. But I don't think she's a faction wrestler. I
Now,
don't see.
every time
I
they
don't see the
try,
point of that.
every time they tried, with the exception of the four horsewomen, it's never been good.
She's too big of a name and sucks on the mic too much.
But
So I don't know if
AJ Styles does not suck on the mic.
that's true.
He's not amazing, but he's great at it. There's definitely better mic talkers than AJ Styles, but definitely a lot better than Charlotte Flair. But Rhea Ripley's not talking too much on the mic either. It's mostly Finn Balor. And then they try to, give Dominic the fucking microphone. He sounds like a fifth grader. Not even. He sounds like my 5-year-old daughter trying to tell me something. Yeah, can I tell you something? Yeah, go ahead. What do you want? So at school, I was so there's this girl, and that's how Dominic reminds me. Is just my 5-year-old trying to put a sentence together, and her brain's going 1,000 miles an hour. The only difference is he's stupid, and just like it baffles me. But if they're going, I think if Charlotte Flair comes back, she needs to be out of the main event picture completely. She's done. She has no purpose to being in the main event. None. No. She's had her run. She's what, 9-time women's champion. She's done. She's done. And most of her reigns are shit because she has it for such a short time, and it's just to be like, oh, we don't have anybody else to give a title to, so here, Charlotte, hold the position until Becky comes, or hold this until Bianca comes, or hold this till like somebody else is gonna take it. And
Yeah.
It would be best in the best interest of the women's division to have her be part of a faction, either like Bayley, where she has 2 other females to basically sponsor, or she's part of a mix like the OC. But I think Charlotte Flair also is the only one I can see manhandling Damian, Dominic, or Finn. Okay, Finn Balor's like what, 140?
Maybe.
Anybody can handle him.
Maybe it wasn't. I see. Now I can't remember. But Leah Kim or not? I'm gonna butcher her name. Xia Li. What the fuck?
That's how you say her name, yeah, Xia Li.
Is it
The
Xia Li?
Protector.
Okay,
The
that might be
Protector,
the
yeah.
other one. Granted, she's
She's SmackDown.
but who knows?
Triple H is doing a really good job right now of keeping
True.
them brands.
But if it's gonna come down like SummerSlam style, of like, oh, it's SmackDown, so and so is jumped or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's who. I think that's who it was. Now I think about it, but fuck, I don't know. I can't remember.
Charlotte Flair makes the most sense. She has heat with the other side, and she's been in a faction with AJ Styles.
I think they go with somebody not as well known.
I hope they do. I hope they go with like somebody that just has not been on the main roster at all, or even big in NXT. Maybe, I don't know, Forbidden Door. By the way, that match is real.
Yes,
Shinsuke
I did.
Nakamura.
Yep, I did look it up. The Muda and Shinsuke.
Well, that, and they talked about it on Raw or SmackDown. It was
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Don't quote me on which show. I forget. I just watched both of them today. But they have to bring in another female.
I think they will. They'll start pushing more of the females. I think they're gonna have a more of a dominant run than in the past.
Well, the past has been a joke.
Yes, it has.
which is sad because honestly, a lot of those females, and when I say look, I don't mean like physical appearance, just they behave, they move, they work better than a lot of the guys. Where a lot of the guys come across like they're just going through the motion.
Alexa Bliss can move better than
And
a
she,
good portion of the guys.
oh yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah.
The shit she can do is like impressive.
Mhm.
She would
All
make
right.
sense too, by the way. But you know,
Maybe. No, I think she's too big like Flair, to be honest. I don't see it happening.
but she hasn't been big in a while.
Uh, they give it time, I think.
She's getting there. They just won the tag titles
Yeah.
right now.
Okay, so Strowman and Otis.
Strowman. Okay,
What do you think I said?
I heard Strollman. I was like, what the fuck is Strollman? Who is Strollman? Strowman. That's another one. Again, it's there to be there.
I didn't even
And
see. That's two big ass dudes to go at it again.
but not even that. Like there's everything I'm seeing is this is to see who's the true monster, and Omos needs to win because he's only 28 years old.
I said
And
Otis.
that's what it was. You said Otis
I
Strollman.
said Otis, not Omos.
Yeah,
My bad.
but
That's how much I like this guy.
like Omos also hasn't been on TV much.
No.
Uh, he can't talk without MVP, and MVP does not mesh with Omos. Like it makes no fucking sense.
No.
No sense. And I can already hear it because I saw it on TikTok, I saw it on YouTube Shorts, I saw it everywhere of why they're matched together. That's a stupid fucking reason. Can't get into it because that's one of our don't talks, but um, the whole thing though, as I'm seeing, is everybody's like, well, Strowman's gonna lose because he's older and he's here just to make people look good. No chance in hell would Strowman come back to just make Omos or anybody look better than him because he struggled like most of his run. He struggled, and even when he was WWE champion for that short while, he struggled. He did not look good. He was not prepared, and I think he is now. I think he's prepared. I think he's ready. I think he has what it takes. But I would still have him like, I would have him go for the U.S. title, or I would have him go against the IC title, but not. Don't put him in the big picture yet. Keep him mid tier,
No.
and let him, get his way to that level. But there's no point for this match. Omos, I can't even think of the last time I saw Omos wrestle. I know he had a jobber match just recently where he just like beat the shit out of two people. And by that I mean use one of like 7 moves he has.
He was in a pay per view not too long ago, wasn't he? It was a the hell was it? Was it SummerSlam? I think. I want to see he was in one of them. I don't know who like wrestled. He was against somebody.
I know he wrestled.
Fuck, I don't remember now.
Hmm, he would. I mean, he just had a wrestling match on October 24th for in a handicap match where he won. Again, that was his jobber match.
Mhm.
And then before then, he had a live event, Monday Night Raw on October 10th, jobber match. Monday night, September 26th, jobber match. He faced Matt Riddle and he won he defeated via DQ. Jobber match. He hasn't had a legitimate match except for I'm going way back. I'm on September 10th. You have Monday Night Raw on October 8th, jobber match. And Monday Night Raw, where he faced Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford with MVP. That's really his last like real match. I want to say he was on Money in the Bank, July 2nd.
Okay, that's okay. That's what it was.
Again, it doesn't make fucking sense. There's nothing here to carry this. Is this another one that's just there to be there? I hope that Stephanie McMahon, Khan, Triple H, and all of them kind of sit down after this year and go, look, you guys don't get to dictate our matches. You can, have input, like you would let your child have input, but it doesn't mean shit. Ultimately, you do what's best for the company and best for the storylines.
Yeah.
Because they tried pushing the Strowman and Omos into an actual story. They've been doing it for a few weeks, but it comes off very half-assed. Quartered-ass, actually. More like quartered-ass. So, I don't think this has anything to do with any of the future matches. I think it's just...
No, it's another one of those, yeah.
One of them just needs to go to SmackDown, though.
Yes. Very, very true. So then there's... What's the other one? Karrion Cross. Yes, that one, which...
Steel cage.
That would be cool. Steel cage. I don't see McIntyre winning that one. I see Karrion winning it. Probably in a dominant fashion.
There's part of that says he won the last one. I think they're going to give McIntyre the win, and it'll be like a fluke. Like, maybe he gets kicked so hard or he gets hit so hard he busts through the door and breaks the lock off the door. He just falls out. So where it's not a decisive win that, oh, hey, McIntyre without a doubt won. It's, okay, you only won because, kind of like Reigns versus Lesnar in that steel cage match a while back, where Reigns speared him. They went through the cage, but Lesnar won because he got his feet on the ground first.
Yeah. See, so I don't know. It should be fun, but I don't see a lot coming out of that match. Granted, it's a steel cage match, so I'm hoping that something does happen, but it's probably going to be a boring steel cage match.
It's kind of hard to tell. This is their second match together, and it's a gimmick match.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is being chalked up as a best of 3 series. So I'm sure they're going to have another match at Survivor Series.
Which, cool. I mean, if it is. Who won their first one?
Cross
won the first one? Okay. So,
Ember, what's the chick's name?
Oh, was that the
Pepper spray?
Yeah, okay.
The Texas, not Texas, what is it called? God damn it. They're tied together.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, remember now. So again, that's another gimmick match that I can't stand. I hate that match.
No.
Steel cage, cool. Throw each other around, get crazy.
I mean, if anybody's gonna do it, they'd be the ones to do it.
Yeah.
Again, not a match I'm really looking towards.
No.
And this is honestly, again, I said this I think on every pay-per-view episode we talk about. Sorry, premiere live event podcast we do. I don't watch these live, with the exception of like the big 4. I will watch live if I can, but for the most part, I just watch this next day because I will just scrub through it. At the beginning of the match is really, really shitty. I will just scrub, 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, 5 minutes in. If it's still really shitty, and I'll just go to like the last 2-3 minutes and be like, oh, it was shitty at the end too, so it's probably not great in the middle, not worth my time watching.
Nope, I torture myself and watch the entire thing.
I can't. There's certain matches I'm just like, this is so brutal.
This one I think will be a struggle for a lot of it. Then like Bianca and Bayley.
That one I'm looking towards, but the problem though is it's a last woman standing, and Bayley just does not look the part. She looks very, very rusty in the ring.
I'm hoping that this ends their feud and just goes back to the faction fighting and not these two one-on-one to set up for War Games and then be done after that, because Bayley needs to... The Bayley Bianca story needs to end.
Bayley's expected to win. Which, if she wins, it'll be a best of 3. because the way it's all culminating and looking like is that she's going to win, and it's going to be Dakota and Io come in, and basically it'll be a very dirty win. It will protect Bianca from looking weak. But now we also have the fact that those two just lost their titles on Monday, and Alexa Bliss and Asuka have already said they'll also be there in Saudi to help Bianca. So I think the true variable in all of this will be Nikki Cross. How does she come into play?
Mm.
But either way, it's slated that Bayley will win, and I honestly I think that's how it will be, and it pisses me off because I do not like Bayley. She's not heel level like Miz, where you just absolutely hate the guy, but you still tune in because he plays the part very well. He gets you to come back. You want to see who the hell's gonna knock his teeth down his throat, or you really like him, like you. Both ends of the spectrum right here for the Miz. For Bayley, it's not either or. She wants to be really great, but on the mic skill, she's not amazing, and she comes off very repetitive.
She's a Karen.
Yeah, very Karen.
She's a Karen.
Honestly, like a mega Karen, like Super Saiyan 3 Karen, but just, she's so hard to listen to. She's literally one of those matches I scrub every time. It's like she was it Money in the Bank? Was it last pay-per-view? Or whatever. She looked rough. She does not look like she's properly wrestled. She had a lot of spots that did not look like they were hit correctly. And again, neither one of us are wrestlers. So this is all just based upon our perspective, and maybe that's how it was supposed to go. Maybe Bianca fucked up. Hard to say. But Bayley just looked like she was having an off night. She wasn't able to return that open package from 3 weeks ago with no receipts.
So I mean that is what it is on that one.
We'll give your input. Don't let me just talk.
I mean Bianca, I see Bianca winning that one because I don't see Bayley walking away with a win on that one. I see Bianca taking it, and then it just kind of goes back to the factions fighting at War Games, and hopefully, God, that whole thing just ends because I want it to end. Tired of seeing it.
It won't.
No, I probably won't, but that's what I want.
Super annoying.
But the match I do want to see, though, I do want to see the Usos and the Brawling Brutes. I do want to see that one. I kind of want to see the chemistry, if they keep the chemistry strong between the Usos through everything. If Sammy comes out to kind of interfere or mess with them, I don't see the Usos losing at all, but I do see some tension happening with Jay and Sammy in some way. Yeah, of him coming out and cheering them on and then messing them up some way to create a little more heat between the two.
Well, yeah, I think that's inevitable, but at the same time, I could see it basically like Sammy has to almost intervene and get the Usos DQ'd.
That could happen.
So where they can still lose, the heat between the two is still there, it rises, but then the Brutes have a win. And now they can put on a stellar match. Sami Zayn fucks it up.
Yeah.
And in order to save, it'd probably be Jay that gets pinned. Jimmy's gonna somehow be knocked out or unable to help, and Sammy's just gonna have to go in with like a steel chair or a kendo stick or something, just hit one of the Brawling Brutes. But
yeah, I can see that. No, and I can see something like that. Sammy definitely being involved in some way to bring heat some way back between them, just kind of increase it.
Or
so yeah,
it'd be really interesting now that I think about it. Is what happened if Sami Zayn was trying to hit Butcher Holland and they duck and he clocks Jay with like the chair.
Yeah.
And then Jay would be disqualified. They would pick up the win. But now you have even more heat and, not feeling too oozy anymore because he just took a chair shot to the face. So that would be a very potential outcome. Not likely by any means, but it would jeopardize the oosiness between the two of them.
That or he totally proves himself and loses the honorary Oos, like Roman already hinted at, and gets his full-fledged Oos of coming in and saving the day in some way.
Yeah.
Of, like you said, Jay being knocked out in some way, saving Jimmy from getting pinned, setting them up to get the win somehow, becoming very Oosy and losing the honorary part of it and becoming a full-fledged Oos when Jay knows in some way that Sammy screwed him over in some way to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has to, regardless of what happens, it has to lead to the inevitable Jay versus Sammy. Like that's what's gonna happen, and it has to be a loser leaves bloodline type match. That's the only way this works. So
It's the ultimate Uzi match.
it'd be the oosiest of all Usi matches. Let's see Us. It'll be interesting, but I would say this is the only match, but it's not as much as I don't care for the Reigns versus Logan Paul match. It's still a match. Like, I'm going to watch the pay-per-view match solely, or not solely, but because that's on the card. I just want to see how they stack Logan Paul up against his first real formidable challenger. So, I mean, this would be very much equivalent if, I don't know, Jake Paul actually fought a boxer that was boxing for multiple years.
It's happened in the past also. Goldberg versus Lesnar. What happened? Speared him, done.
Yeah.
What stops him from doing this?
Yeah.
Granted, it's in Saudi, so maybe.
Because it's a knockout. That's been the whole angle on this feud for the last month, has been the knockout. One lucky punch, one lucky hit, one lucky chant, one knockout. That's all it takes, is him to get lucky one time and knock Reigns out. So it's going to come down to a knockout punch. And but this, like, for that match, this is really how I see it playing out, is the ending being that Logan Paul's going to get his one lucky punch, but he's going to not hit Reigns. Jay or somebody's going to step in, maybe Sammy, and that's how he gets his official Oos title.
I was just thinking it.
And Sammy takes the full front of the knockout punch, and Logan Paul is, oh my God, how did that ever happen? This is not scripted at all. And Roman Reigns comes in, Superman punches him, knocks him out, gets the pin. Logan Paul is still very protected. Reigns is still very protected.
Yeah.
He just gets a cleaner win over Logan Paul. But either way, really the only two matches on there that are looking to be worth a damn.
Is there any? Is the U.S.
Bray Wyatt will be there? Don't forget.
I did see that too. Is there a 4-way match for the U.S. title?
Not on the card, no.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's on the very bottom. It's on a, I don't know what the hell I'm on, but it shows, and this could be speculation or made up, whatever, between Rollins, Riddle, Mustafa Ali, and Elias. Where it came from, how it came apart, I don't know.
I was like, I'm on WWE.com, and there is nothing.
Okay.
Because the only matches they have is,
there's only those 7 they're showing.
Yeah, because originally the women's tag team championship was supposed to be on the line, but that got scrapped and it got pushed to this past Monday. Then you have Bray Wyatt bringing the mystical energy, OC versus Judgment Day, Braun Strowman versus Omos, McIntyre versus Cross, tag team titles, Uso versus Braun and Brutes, women's champion, last man standing match, Lesnar versus Lashley, an undisputed title match with Logan Paul. So I don't see anything about that. I know they're hinting at a bigger US title match, and maybe that's going to take place on either like the Welcome Back or Go Home episode, whatever they call it, on Monday Night Raw, or Survivor Series. But either way, I don't see anything about a U.S. title match.
Yeah. Weird. Wonder why.
Because they're going to be in Saudi Arabia. Why would you put the
Hmm.
U.S. title match on the line?
Well, we'll stop Ali to win it.
I don't. I
Number
don't.
stuff's happened.
I know. I don't want to win it. I want Riddle to
But-
carry a title. I don't want Mustafa.
I don't think he's ready yet. He's close. I don't think it's his time yet.
No, it won't be his time for quite some time.
He'll get it soon.
Yeah. So let's. Oh, I meant to that up. So let's go. There we go. So let's go back through and just kind of fuck you, Google, and just recap basically who you think's gonna win, and wrap it up at that point. So starting off, OC versus Judgment Day. Final pick. Who do you have?
I'm taking the OC to win that one with somebody coming in and helping.
All right. Unfortunately, I think Judgment Day will win. I don't want them to win, but that's just how it is. Strowman versus Omos, aka you call him Otis.
Otis, the same guy. They look the exact same. I'll take Strowman in that one in a hopefully a decent match and him just going off and manhandling him.
I have Strowman as well. I think it'll be a squash match.
Yes.
I don't know how, but I think they're gonna. Strowman's gonna be squashing Omos. So
Yeah.
McIntyre versus Cross, steel cage. Who you got?
I take Karrion Cross.
Same. And I liked McIntyre too, but I just don't think they're
I
gonna
do
get
too.
him to win. Because
No,
Cross has too much heat on him right now.
McIntyre's underused.
Well, he was shoved down our throat during the gingivitis outbreak. So
Yes, that's true.
all right,
But he's good.
I mean, he is. He was just he was shoved down our throats.
Yes.
So, Bianca Belair versus Bayley, last woman standing.
I take Bianca winning that one.
I think it's gonna be a best of 3 match, so I'm giving it to Bayley. So where they have a final match, all on the line, all titles on the line at Survivor Series. Lesnar versus Lashley.
I don't think anybody wins that one. I think it's just they just go off into the sunset fighting each other. King Kong versus Godzilla style, just go off and nobody cares.
Double count out.
Yeah, something like that. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that the match just ends and nobody wins. What's the point of over? Does it matter who wins really?
No.
I don't think there's a winner in this match.
There's the only story is been accumulating for the last 20 years. They've never had an official match. Lesnar's been dodging Lashley. Lashley never had his chance. Blah 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 blah. But since you mentioned that, I think that's the more realistic. Is they're just gonna tear the house down and literally break shit apart to the point where 10 count will happen. Everybody in the locker room's gonna rush out to separate them, and that'll be it. However,
That's
I don't think that will be the end of it.
no, that's fine if it's not, but that'll give because if Lesnar's doing his run the UFC, that'll give him enough time to figure something out at that point. But because there's no point to this match at all, and going off how Lesnar's last match was, where he brought a fucking tractor in and lifted up the damn ring, just wait for a stampede of goats to come through, and he's just herding them all around and does some crazy shit. That's all I'm expecting him to just. They're gonna fucking wreck the house and go from there. Obviously, he's not gonna be anything in the ring because they still have the title match to do, but it'll be backstage somewhere.
He ever brings in a herd of any animals, love it. Lesnar has never been like my go-to wrestler until recently, where I'm like, he's just better now. I feel like he's a better character. His character has truly evolved. He's not relying so heavily on Heyman in this one dimension. Like, he's very much evolved. But
he's himself right now, and that's why he's even enjoying it.
Yeah,
because he gets to be his country self.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what he is. Yeah.
So
I just came straight out the woods from Minnesota.
If there is Canada, but if there is a winner, again, Lashley's my only thought because Lesnar is going off to do a UFC run, so it'd give them a time to build the story up and basically let Lashley just trash the shit out of Lesnar. I won. Where are you now? Look, I beat you so bad you ran off. So that's my pick if there has to be a winner, but double count out, yours makes the most sense. Last but not least, undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul.
We have the tag titles too.
Did I skip that one?
Yeah, you did.
I fucking did. Scratch Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Undisputed WWE Tag Title Champions. Uso versus Brawling Brutes.
The Usos.
Okay.
I don't think they lose this one. Not at the Crown Jewel. I don't think it'll be until Survivor Series. But yeah, I say Usos on this one.
I don't think they'll lose the title until Reigns loses his title, and it'll be one night where they all just drop. They all drop all the titles, and it's gonna be the destruction of the bloodline. If not, it'll be Reigns loses his title. Jay getting a little balls, he'll be like, we're still double champs. Maybe we're the head of the table now. And that will let Jay do a single run again. Because he's a good single, like he was good
at singles.
He is. So, but Usos versus Brawling Brutes, I have to agree with you. I think Usos will win. It'll just be a dirty win. It will not be clean by any means. Leaving the door open for a part 2 of the Brawling Brutes. Plus, I think the Brutes beat them the last couple weeks. So, so it makes sense for the Usos to finally get a win to shut that down. Now, Reigns versus Paul. I'm not saying the whole title. I already said it once. So,
I go with the ending that we talked about of Sammy getting involved, Sammy taking the punch, Reigns getting the win. I don't see Reigns losing this match.
No, same. I don't think Reigns wins. It will be a shifty win or shady win, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have to. They're going to keep the title on Reigns, and they have to just make Logan Paul be protected and make him look strong, but at the same time allowing, like you said, and like I said earlier, Sami Zayn has to step in or somebody has to step in and take the lucky hit and losing that way, or Reigns gets disqualified by Sami Zayn. Either way, Sami's going to be involved. Sami's going to be the distraction. Reigns is going to walk away with the title, whether it's a DQ and Paul wins by the DQ, or Reigns wins by avoiding the knockout punch and Superman punching Paul, like we said. So,
do you think Jake Paul shows up? Or I should say in the ring. I'm not in the ring involvement. I'm not talking just show up in the audience.
I mean, in general.
In ring involvement.
Not. I mean, just in general. I don't fucking like the guy. No. Because I think if we see him in the crowd, he's gonna get in the match.
I do think he has involvement of some kind, be it from the ring or from audience, over the barrier or in ring, some way.
The only way I could see him being involved would be if it was like Tyson Fury, where Theory comes down to try to cash in the Money in the Bank to disrupt the match, and Jake Paul hits him, knocks him out. And there's also that, by the way. They could protect both. They could protect both and have Theory cash in, or possibly cash in, but cash in, and Reigns eliminating Theory and getting the pin over Theory, never beating Logan Paul. Logan Paul doesn't have an L, but at the same time, Reigns gets to keep his title. Theory no longer has the Money in the Bank briefcase, which he doesn't need. So,
yeah,
there's always that. I forgot he even had the Money in the Bank. Even though
I think everybody does.
With that said, though, he's starting to look good on Monday Night Raw. His match with Rollins was actually like a good match. So, but again, Rollins can make anybody look good.
Yes.
So, with that said, let's wrap this up. If you want to catch the WWE Premier Live event, Crown Jewel is taking place Saturday, November 5th. And you can watch it on Peacock. We're not sponsored by any means.
Yes.
Yeah. But Peacock or WWE, fuck. You want to just cut the middleman at WWE?
Yeah. Just let us know.
You can even fly us out. We'll come to your events. We'll do We'll do everything. I am easily bought. Hell, you could do like a low salary and some candy, and my ass would be sold. Low salary and some White Claw. He'll be sold.
Okay, true.
That's right. You heard it here. White Claw and candy.
That's right.
Fucking 2 adult children, really.
2 basic bitches.
No chocolate, though.
No chocolate.
Anyways, let's wrap this up.
Shit.
Before Rogel says this, now somehow he has a catch line. I don't fucking know how that shit happened. But anyways, hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure you tune in Wednesday over on YouTube. 2 Guys 1 Gamepad to catch the video edition and see all the actual reactions that you are missing with the voice. Other than that, hope you all have a great week. We'll catch you on the next episode. 2 Guys 1 Gamepad.
Bye, bitch.
And I said it better. Bye.